It's a rainy day outside and I'm stuck in the house making dog stew. Not from my dog, but for my dog. There's one of my favorite shirts. So I've been looking at a lot of gear videos because I'm getting ready to do a section of the AT trail soon. And I'm going to do one state this month, and in 2 more months I hope I can do another state, and then next year, just to kind of get ready and practice, and then next year I hope to do a through hike end to end. And I've been going out. I do either mountain biking or hiking like almost every day for exercise, mental health, and to exercise my doggie. You've all seen Cookie in the video. You probably can't even see her on the chair because she blends in. But in anticipation of doing the Appalachian Trail, I've been carrying a heavier and heavier pack every time I go. And recently the pack I've been carrying is between 16 and 18 pounds. What I'm going to do now is actually start carrying my full load minus food. And everybody loves gear videos, right? At least that's what I see on YouTube. Everybody says, oh, we love gear videos. And I've been watching a girl, ultra hiking girl, and she's really sweet, and I really like her videos. She's doing the AT now. And I asked her about gear, and somebody commented to my question that you would have to see a gear list or a gear video to see, to give advice on where to cut. So that's what I'm going to make today. And I'm going to start out with a small video that I made a couple days ago of just what's in my first aid kit and what's in the dog's backpack. But I'm not carrying it, but I may have to give her a rest. But my first aid kit is almost 2 pounds alone. So next will come the short clip I made of the first aid kit. Then we'll get into the other stuff. I never thought I'd become a weight weenie. And what that means is, as a mountain biker, especially one who does downhill, it's kind of a mountain bike community joke that people that try to shave grams and half a grams off the weight of their equipment, it's kind of funny. So in the biking world, I don't do that, but now that I've decided that I wanted to hike the AT trail, and my backpack is really heavy, I've become a weight weenie, and my husband makes fun of me now the way I used to make fun of weight weenies in the cycling world. He's like, you're making that change to save 1 ounce, and I'm like, hey, 1 ounce, 2 ounces, 3 ounces, it all adds up to a pound eventually. So he kind of makes fun of me a little bit. So one of the areas I don't think you should ever shave weight is your first aid kit. But I looked at my first aid kit and I dumped it all out. My first aid kit was a little over 2 pounds, I'm not kidding you. And I dumped it out and I said, you know what, I actually can make some changes. So I had like way too much, I think, in there, and I hope I don't regret the changes, but it was like minor changes. So I've got it down to 1 pound 15.6 ounces, and I decided that I did have 2 substances in glass bottles that I could change over to plastic bottles, and that's going to save me I weighed one of the glass bottles empty, and it was like 1.8 ounces, believe it or not, for just this glass eyedropper bottle. And I found a small squeeze bottle that was like 0.4 ounces. I was like, wow, look at that. Look how much I saved. So I am going to show you what's in my first aid kit. And because some people are like, well, we have to know what your gear is to help you shave weight. And I know there are some that are going to say this first aid kit is too extensive, and I know there are some that's going to say it's not enough. But this is what I have in it. So my sister-in-law gave me this really cool bag a long time ago, just this empty bag, and I thought, wow, that's really neat, that'll come in handy for something. And this is my first aid kit. Now, keep in mind, I'm also packing not just for me, but for my dog. So there's some things in here you might not think are important, but I do because of the dog. All right, in this little pocket, I have, I don't like to use painkillers of any kind, you know, aspirin, Excedrin, or anything like that. But in this little tin, just in case, there are a couple painkillers in here, but just a few. In this little pocket, we have Benadryl tablets, the child dose ones. They are for the dog. And then I have some homeopathic remedies that I really, really love, that I found are really, they really do work. I'm not going to go through all of them, but like there's Arnica Montana, which is for bruising and things like that. And then there's one for bee stings, one for food poisoning. So there's just a couple of these. One that you take specifically if you get bit by a tick. So those are my homeopathic remedies that I have tried and found really do work. So they're in this little pocket. Then in here I have, and this is for the dog. It's a little single serving packet like you get in a restaurant of honey, one of those medicine measuring spoons, and then in case I have a senior moment and forget, there are instructions. And what this is for is, it goes along, all my bottles of liquids, by the way, I put into individual little baggies. Some weird message just came up on my phone again. I hate when it happens. All of my bottles of liquids are going to go into individual little baggies, just in case something happens that they do leak. This bottle is marked for hydrogen peroxide, and it's not filled because you don't want to leave it sitting around. So when I get ready to leave, I'll fill it. And this will go in my first aid kit too. And this, along with these instructions, and this spoon is for the dog. God forbid she eats something she shouldn't have and you need to make her vomit. The hydrogen peroxide, and this is specifically for that for the dog. Now the hydrogen peroxide does do double duty because you can use it for wounds. But it's basically a pack for the dog. Okay. Now, okay, and just keep in mind, nothing that I'm telling you here should be taken as medical advice. Talk to your vet, talk to your medical doctor before you listen to me, okay? But, so, in the kit is the bottle for the hydrogen peroxide. Next, I have this is a glass bottle, only because I don't want to transfer it to a plastic one. I want to keep it in its original bottle. This is Andrographis tincture. It is an herbal extract, and it's good for wounds, and you know, it's good for all sorts of stuff. Look it up online, Andrographis. Next, I have a plastic bottle in its own little plastic bag again, just in case it leaks. This is povidone iodine, and this can be used for wounds. It can be used in an emergency for water, although we are going to be bringing water filters with us. You never know. So this does double duty for wounds and for water purification. Again, with a little note in case I forget how to do it. This is a eyedropper of Listerine. I'm going to be putting this into a plastic bottle to save weight. So I'm not going to put it in the bag just yet. But this will go in a plastic bottle in this bag. Listerine is great for oral care. You can also use it on wounds. Again, it does carry kind of double duty. So that will be going in here. Next, we have, this is where it gets fun. We do have Aqua Tabs. Again, we are going to be bringing water filters with us, but in an emergency, we can bring the Aqua Tabs in case something goes wrong with the filters. So those are going to be in my first aid kit. Then I have mold foam. This is for blisters, things like that. This is a little package of vitamin C powder with a little measuring spoon. If you do have to use iodine to purify your water, adding a little vitamin C powder helps with the taste. And vitamin C is good for you in case you feel like you're not feeling very good. Start taking some vitamin C. Talk to your doctor about that. We've got a couple small and large popsicle sticks to use as splints. Hopefully we won't ever need those. In this little package, this is a cool little package. It's a nail clippers, a lighter, a tick removal tool, a couple of birthday candles, you know, for starting fire, first aid scissors, a tiny magnifying glass for helping in tick removal, and a set of mini tweezers. One's got a flat head like regular tweezers, and the other one has a really pointy head. It's really cool. So those go in there. A sewing kit with a large canvas needle for sewing straps if I need to, some thread, some safety pins. There's buttons in there. I don't know why they're in there because I probably won't need them, but you never know. And some a couple assorted regular sewing needles, just in case something on your equipment or clothes rips and you need to sew it up and fix it. We have some Q-tips. This is a homeopathic, inside this little pack there are, I think, 5 or 6 little tubes of homeopathic eye wash, and it's if you get an injury or something in your eye or an eye infection, you can use this for your eyes. People seem to forget their eyes whenever they're doing first aid. These are septic swabs to stop bleeding of small wounds. In here there are some alcohol wipes, some triple antibiotic cream in little packages. There's another little tube of like a healing salve for wounds, and crazy glue. This can be used for wounds or maybe to fix equipment if it breaks. In this little bag there are bandages. There's gauze bandages, large band-aids, small band-aids, butterfly, those butterfly bandages. This is the band-aid bag. Then we have one large roll of gauze, another roll of gauze, a triangular bandage with a pin, some cotton balls, and these are for me. These are Ace Bandage Wraps. Sometimes if my shins start to bother me, I like to wrap my shins up. That helps a little bit. Or, you know, these can be used if you break an arm and you need to wrap it up or whatever. So it's 2 Ace bandages. And these are braces that have copper in them, and these are to put on your feet around your arch area in case you have some pain in your feet. This helps a lot. So that is what is in my first aid kit, and after I change out the Listerine bottle, and I'm going to reweigh it and see how much weight I saved by changing out those 2 glass bottles. Well, I weighed it, and it's still 1 pound, 15.6 ounces. So I saved by using the plastic bottle, but then I ended up filling the plastic bottle up with more liquid than what was in it before. And because the glass bottle was really little. The plastic bottle was well over twice the size. So I didn't save on any weight, but I was able to bring more Listerine than what was in the little tiny glass bottle, which is a good thing. So yeah, my first aid kit is 2 pounds. Oof. Dog's pack. This is Cookie's pack. Has our phone numbers written on it, and a tag with our phone numbers too, and her name. This is a modification that I made. I didn't like it clipping up here, the leash, so I removed it, and just using a Velcro strap, I put it on here. This gives it a little bit of movement while we're walking back and forth without just yanking on her. So this is what's in her pack. We have one of those microfiber cloths, which is nice for wiping her down if she gets wet or really dirty. So we got a microfiber cloth, a container of Musher's Secret, and a small container of Manuka honey, good for wounds. Talk to your vet about that. And I know it's probably a little on the heavy side, but I am bringing her a silicone food bowl for her to eat out of. It used to be like this high, and we trimmed it down. But this is going to be her food dish, and the reason why we're doing that rather than, I saw a really good tip for somebody which is using a Ziploc bag to put their dog's food in. Well, Cookie doesn't get kibble, and sometimes I like to heat her meals up for her, so that's why the silicone bowl. That's what's in this side. Is we might be using the Honest Kitchen food for her while we're out, rather than bringing the food I make for her, because if I bring what I make, I have to refrigerate it. I don't want to go through the process of dehydrating it, so we'll probably use the Honest Kitchen, and it's best heated up with warm water. So, and I like feeding her warm food anyway. Okay, on the other side, there's nothing in these little pockets. Nothing in those little pockets. What she's got on this side is, these are socks that I made for her that can be used as bandages, made out of wool fleece. She has some gauze, and we've got some vet wrap and first aid tape. I've got 2 rolls of first aid tape. I think I may take one of the rolls out. It's probably overkill. And we've got some vet wrap in here. And a pair of rubberized socks for her. They can be used as bandages or just if she's walking on pavement or a lot of rocks. These are a little lighter and fit her a little better than actual booties with a sole. She accepts these a little bit better, and they're much lighter and easier to pack. And if she does have a wound on her foot, they're rubberized, so it'll keep her foot dry. This is a little container of calendula flower infused coconut oil for sore feet or skin abrasions. This is a little bag of some spare buckles that fit both her pack and some of the buckles on my pack. In case a buckle breaks, we can replace it. And this is her sleeping harness, and I'll give that a little explanation. Some backpacks, the bag part will come off the harness part of the pack. Hers, they do come off, but they're really hard to get them back on again. It's just a real big pain. So when we get to our campsite, this whole thing can come off of her. And this is a harness that I actually made for her. It's very soft, lightweight webbing, and there are no buckles. It closes with Velcro. So infinite adjustability. And the only metal part is here where you can attach a leash, and it also holds her tag. So a tag. My dog is over tagged. She's got tags on everything. So this is I don't know why this little piece of electrical tape is on there. I'm sure there's a reason. But this is her sleeping harness when we get to camp. We could put this on her, and you know, we can leash her up, and she's comfortable and doesn't have to sleep in her backpack. It's very lightweight and soft. And then a light, a little light that can go on her harness or on her collar at night when we're in camp. And that is what is in my dog's backpack. She weighs 25 and a half, 26 pounds. They say don't go over 10%. This is under 2 pounds. It's like 1 pound, 14 ounces. So this should be good. And if she's getting tired, I'll strap it onto my pack and I'll carry it for her. Because I do stuff for my dog. I forgot to show you, in her pack is also her raincoat. She's got a raincoat that will fit over her pack and over her. I bought it extra large so it will go over her pack, cover her end. It's got a little hood on it, but you know, hoods on raincoats for dogs just don't always work right. But I forgot to show you that. So I'm going to start out by saying, if any of you have a mind to say anything nasty about this video or anything negative, don't, okay? Because if you do, I'm just going to delete it. Don't be a jerk, okay? I'm asking people to be helpful, not snotty. So we're going to start out by talking about my pack. My pack is probably about 20 years old. We figured out it is about a 40-liter pack, but I did a little customizing thing on the bottom of it. There were straps on the bottom of it, but they weren't really efficient for anything. So I cut them and added a buckle to them, and now they work really nice to add a little bit of extra in the bottom if I need it, hanging from the bottom, and a nice compression spot. With that change, and with loading the pack all the way to the top and using the lid to cover, there's some space there that I never utilized, and one day I was looking at it going, I can close up the pack and then still put stuff under the lid, and the straps that hold the lid down will hold the product there, the gear there, sorry. And everybody hikes for a different reason, and my reasons are my own. I may or may not share at a later date, but for right now, this hike is just something that I want to do, and I want to share my gear list because everybody loves gear videos, or so I'm told. So first, about my pack. My pack is about 20 years old. I had bought it to do a camping hiking trip with my children, and it was a great success. But yeah, the pack is 20 years old, but it's still in great shape, and it weighs less than 3 pounds and is about a 50-liter pack, which is amazing because I've been looking at 50-liter packs that weigh less than 3 pounds, and they're all over $400. I'm not spending that kind of money right now. And so this is my pack. Let me change the view here. So this is my backpack, and it's got some great things about it, and it's got some not so great things about it, but it holds the gear, and the funny thing is about it, it actually fits me. So one thing I had to do to that pack, it wasn't an internal frame pack. It just had 2 aluminum rods, one on each side, that apparently is supposed to transfer the weight to your hips. But I found it that every time I wore it with more than 10 pounds in it, my back was killing me, like would hurt so bad after like just a 2-hour hike. And no matter how we adjusted the straps and bent the rods, we just couldn't get it to be comfortable on me. So one day I said, you know what, I'm going to make this pack lighter. I'm going to take the aluminum rods out. And I took the rods out. And it was much better, but I felt there was a lot of movement and I wasn't quite happy with it. So my husband and I worked on adjusting the straps a little bit. And I needed his help because I filled it up and put it on my back. And I said, okay, you adjust the straps. And so we made some adjustments and now it fits quite comfortable, and I had 18 pounds in it and we did like a 2 or 3 hour hike and my back did not hurt. So I'm much happier with the pack now. There are some people that say it's not right, put the internal frame back in. You know what, for my back and my body shape, it just works better for me this way. So all right, and now I'll get to the gear and how I pack it all up. So another note on my gear, keep in mind I am packing for a dog also. I also use a hammock rather than a tent. And I know some people say, oh, a tent would be lighter. Well, I don't like sleeping on the ground. It hurts my back. Sleeping in a hammock, I get the best night's sleep ever. And when you really compare it for the number of pieces that you need tent camping and hammock camping and the weight, depending on the type of gear you have, it pretty equals. It equals out. And I also like the hammock because, you know what, if something happens that I can't make it to the campsite and I can't find a flat spot to throw a tent, if there's trees, well, I'm going to get a good night's sleep in my hammock. So hammocks are it for me. That's it. It's not subject to any negotiation. Okay, so let's start. So on my pack, on the lid, there's an area with some compression straps. And in this gray bag is my rain poncho. Now, I do not use a raincoat. I use a poncho because it can go over my pack. I put it on, it covers my pack. It goes down to my knees, so it keeps me dry all the way down to my knees. And, you know, as I'm walking, I can even push the front of the poncho out and it'll keep some of the rain off my shoes. I do have a set of Gators that I made for the winter time. I thought about bringing them, but I think they're a little bit too hot and they don't cover the toes of my shoes. So I may, in the future, design and make a pair of rain gaiters that will be good for the summertime, that are a little lower and cooler, but will keep the fronts of my shoes dry, the tops and fronts of my shoes dry. That will work in conjunction with my poncho. Poncho has a hood. It's great. I love it. So that's on top for fast, easy access. Now, the lid does have this little zippered compartment here, and I'll show you what I'll be throwing in there. And I may, when I pack it, move some things around, but for now, just for my day hikes to practice, this is what's in the lid. Okay, a tube of Arnica Care. This is a homeopathic gel that you can rub on sore muscles and joints. It goes right there for easy, quick access. A compass. Now I know I'm going to be on the AT trail, but compass. And yes, I know how to use it. My headlamp. Extra batteries for my headlamp. Deodorant. I may end up repacking this in with my feminine hygiene stuff, but for now I've just been throwing it in here. This is a tent pole repair stick. but I use it for other things. It can be used as a toggle on a tie line. It can be used to hang your pack from your hammock strap when you have your hammock set up. I do have a bug net that has poles in it that if one of them snaps, I can use this to repair it. It weighs almost nothing, so it goes in there. This is a tarp repair kit, just in case your tarp gets a hole in it. Extra cordage because you never know. A roll of toilet paper. It's not quite a whole roll. These are wet wipes, but these are a little different than like the usual wet wipes people do to clean their bodies. These are actually alcohol wipes. I am going to bring a little container of hand sanitizer that is attached to my shoulder strap, but sometimes I just really want something to wipe my hands. So, alcohol wipes. And my camping towel. This is a very lightweight cotton towel. Look at this. Look at that. I love it. This has multiple purposes. You can use it as a bandana over your head. I can wipe the dog down with it. You can use it as a sling. You can wrap up a wound with it. You can just use it as a nice towel for your face. It's very lightweight. It's very nice, soft, absorbent cotton. But it's thin, so I think it'll dry out quickly if you need it to, relatively quickly. So that is what's in. Okay, this pack does have two compartments. It has a section here at the bottom. So you have your top and then your bottom, and it has a separator near that has a zipper. And in trying to pack it, utilizing that divider, I just felt like I couldn't get all my gear to fit in the pack, and I was really just stressed over it. And I tried putting stuff on the outside, but then it was so wide I couldn't even get through a doorway. So going through the woods would be horrible. So one day I decided to unzip that divider and pack it without using the divider, and it's amazing how now everything fits. I can't explain that, but it just does. Okay, so for just doing a day hike, I am packing my tarp at the bottom of my backpack. But I want to make a note here, because I know some of you are going, your tarp should be at the top. Yes, I know. When I finally go out to do my overnight hike, the tarp will be the last thing that gets packed into my pack, so it will be at the top. So when I get to my campsite, I can take out the tarp and set it up. Just in case it's raining, you get the tarp set up first, and then everything goes underneath it. And that's another reason why I like hammocks and tarps. Because when you got your tent, you're trying to set up your tent in the rain and things are getting wet. Your gear is getting wet while you're setting up your tent. And a tarp sets up much faster than any tent, okay? You get it up in 2 seconds and everything is underneath it and nice and dry. It's just an awesome way to camp. But just for day hikes, for practice, I am putting the tarp at the bottom of the pack just because it's just what I'm doing, okay? So, I have my Hammock Bug Net. Now, most hammock bug nets are about this big and weigh like, I don't know, half a pound. Less than that, probably. Mine's pretty big, and it weighs, I have it written down here, it's less than 2 pounds. I was actually surprised at how light it is. It is, I have all my gear weights written down on a piece of paper. It is 1 pound 12 ounces. But this is a bug net made for hammock campers like me that want it fully enclosed, but I can still stand up. I'll have to do a video on it, but this is not getting left behind, because keep in mind, I have the dog, and I don't want to be inside my hammock in my bug net, all nice and protected, and my poor dog is getting eaten alive by mosquitoes or ticks or whatever. And comparing a doggy tent just for her and this is a lighter deal, and quite frankly, I don't want to be separated from her anyway. I want her in there with me. So let me put this in the bottom. Then this is my tarp, and this is really an actually pretty big tarp, but as far as tarps go, I've got 2 other tarps, and this is the biggest but the lightest one, and packs down the smallest. This is just an awesome tarp. Okay, so tarp, and in the bag are the guidelines and stakes that are needed for this. And you know, I did I took all my stuff sacks and weighed them, and I was like, you know, it's like 6 ounces of stuff sacks. You know, if I drop those, I saved 6 ounces. But I'm going to tell you why I decided to continue using stuff sacks. One, I just like to keep everything organized. I like to keep everything clean. And you don't want to put anything metal, like stakes or anything like that, in your pack, not in a stuff sack, because when you're walking, it'll rub and it can damage your other gear. So yeah, I've decided I like stuff sacks. I used to think that they were a waste, but now I love them. Okay. Oh, it still smells like my last camping trip, campfire. Oh, I love my hammock. Okay, so a couple things that I did to my hammock. I did change out the carabiners, because the old carabiners were, you're gonna love this one. The old carabiners were 4.4 ounces. I bought these new carabiners from Dutchware. They're 1.4 ounces. Saved 3 whole ounces. It's so awesome. I don't care for the color very much because I don't really like orange, except on tigers. But yeah, saved a lot of weight there. 3 whole ounces. The other thing I did is I changed out the hammock straps. Now, the original straps, let's see, were 15.4 ounces. These are only 12 ounces, so I saved 3.4 ounces using these. I actually have another pair of straps that are an ounce lighter, an inch longer, but they're, when you roll them all up, they're twice as big. So like this thick, like I'm not kidding you. So even though these are an ounce heavier, they take up half the amount of space. So these are my hammock straps. Put those in the bottom, put the hammock on top of it. So there in the bottom, I have my sleep system for the most part. Okay, this is something that I made. This is an underquilt protector. I've been packing it, but the truth is when the time comes, I think I'm going to leave it behind, because I really don't think for this situation I'm going to need it. This would be like if rain is coming in under your tent, it'll keep your underquilts from getting wet. It also will add an extra layer of insulation if you need it. This is going to be more for early spring, late fall, and winter. I don't think I'm going to be needing this in the summer, which is when I'm probably going. So I think I'm going to be leaving this behind. But for now, I've been packing it. Okay. What else? Oh yeah, if I do make myself rain gaiters, they will go inside the bag with the poncho. That's where they'll go. And they're gonna be so lightweight, the amount of weight is insignificant. Okay, so that's what's in there so far. Okay, what else do we have now? Okay, next is my first aid kit, and I did the clip of the first aid kit so you know what's in that. That I put close to my back because it's heavy. Okay, this, look at that. I love that. This is my Firebox kit, my cook kit, my stove. I do have an alcohol stove insert for this that's on order. It's not here yet, so I can't show it to you, but this is my Firebox kit. And in this bag, I kind of think along the lines of survival and the what-if situation. So there is a little tea light candle. There is a ferro rod. There are some rubber latex gloves. My pot holder. A lighter. This doesn't need to be in there. I'm going to take that out. And a few pieces of fat wood. And also a pocket bellows. And the other thing that I'm adding to it is a mini sharpening stone for my knife. Because I am bringing a knife with me. So that's what's in here. A few pieces of, did I say a few pieces of fat wood? I don't remember if I said it or not. So, a couple latex gloves. Now, the thing with this Firebox kit, I know on the AT chart it's supposed to be alcohol stoves only. Actually, I have that wrong. It's not alcohol stoves. I think it's gas stoves only. I don't have a gas stove. I'm not going to get a gas stove. I have an alcohol stove that is very safe, and I'm very safe at this kind of stuff. And I do have the little Firebox kit that does use little pieces of wood. And that's just what we're going to do this time. And hopefully that works out okay. Did I say I had a lighter in here? I have a lighter, my ferro rod. Okay, so this is my cook kit. Okay, and that's going to go right there. Okay, what next? Next, inside of here, and I only have this in a bag to try to help keep it a little clean. This will be my cook pot or my water boiling pot. It is stainless steel. I know I could get a titanium one and be lighter, but money. A little water bowl for the dog. And put them in here just to help keep them clean. And my spatula if I need it. It's very lightweight. I didn't weigh it, but it's very lightweight. This I'm probably going to put in my food bag. Okay, what else do I have? Okay, so the only thing that's missing from the bottom in here that I'm not going to show you are the 3 quilts that I bring with me. 2 of them are under quilts for me, and 1 is a quilt for the dog. I'm not going to show you, and I'm not going to put them in here because I have to compress them in order to get them to fit, and it's not good keeping your quilts compressed in storage all the time. They should be open and fluffed up when you store them. So I will compact them and put them in when we're actually ready to go. This is the sack that they get compressed into. And all 3 of them do compress down and fit into this sack. It takes up a big space in the bottom of my pack. Basically, that kind of hole right here, it'll fill up that whole hole. So, yeah, my pack, when I get done packing it, has very little space in the top for food. This top area will fit some food, but not much. But I'll show you what I'm going to do to remedy that problem. Okay, so next I have my knife. It's just a small Mora knife. I may wear this around my neck or in my pocket or on my hip, but for now it is in my bag. I am also bringing a silky saw in case I have to process wood or for whatever reason. I put it in a little stuff sack just to protect the gear around it. This I showed you before. This is the bag that my quilts get put in, so I'm going to shove that in there. Now, this is some wet wipes and some feminine hygiene products. This is a flashlight personal protection device. I've gone back and forth 100 times on whether or not I should bring it. I always bring it when I go camping, and I've been wondering if I should bring it just because of the weight and how much room it takes up, but at first I took it out, thought I didn't need it, but then I put it back in. What do we have next? Okay, this is a hairbrush. This is for me and the dog, because, yeah, I like to groom her, so that's going to go in there. Okay, so then we have clothes. This is what I plan on bringing. I plan on wearing, I have these, like, shorts that I wear all summer long. Not the same pair of shorts, but the same style. They have side pockets. They're cycling shorts, so they're well, they're not really cycling shorts. They're good for cycling, but they're just you know, like your polyester spandex kind of things. And I'll be wearing a shirt, so I'll be wearing this and some kind of a polyester shirt when I finally do my trip. They dry quickly, they're comfortable, and that's what I'll wear during the day. And at night, I'm just going to bring clothes that I'm wearing during the day and then something to sleep in at night, and no other change of clothes. So this is my night sleeping shirt. Okay, and yes, it is cotton, because when I'm sleeping I like that nice softness. So that is my sleeping shirt. I have pajama pants. And I'm not going to put my clothes into a bag because I want to use my clothes to fill up the spaces in between other gear. And I'm not worried about them getting wet or dirty or anything like that because, well, if it starts raining, I have my poncho. The only thing I am going to bring extra is I am bringing 2 pair of underwear and 2 socks, in addition to what I'll be wearing. And maybe an extra bra, but maybe not. So, okay, look at that. It's almost all the gear is sitting there. Let's see if I can show this to you better, a little bit better. So, once I get my underquilts in there, there is very little room for packing of food. Like I said, I can get some food in it. But what I plan on doing is filling it up, you know, as full as it needs to be. And this is my food bag. It's actually a waterproof food bag. This is pretty cool. I will put whatever food that I need to pack away in here. I close it up, and it can go here. And then my lid can go over top of it, just like that. So this will be all nice and full. My lid will sit on top of it, and there are these straps that come up and clip and hold it in place. I've already tried it out just on a day hike to see how it works, and it works pretty darn good. Like, you clip it there and it stays, and if I'm worried about it shifting and falling out, I can always take a short bungee or a piece of cord and go this way to keep it from shifting. But this lid's pretty, it's pretty nice, and it sits up pretty high, and it's got these that come over. So I think that'll work out. I think that'll work out really, really good. So another thing that I'll be bringing with me, and some of you may kind of laugh about it. So besides brushing and flossing, I also use a water pick. Now, there is no way that I'm going to go on a week-long or month-long or, God forbid, 6-month-long camping trip and not bring my water pick. But there's no outlets out there. So I do have a battery-operated water pick. And it runs on batteries, so it, with batteries and an extra pack of batteries. So this is the water pick all broken down in its little bag. This is actually the bag originally that was for my poncho. But I didn't like it for the poncho, so I put the poncho in a different bag, and I use this for my water pick. So yes, this goes with me. And the other funny thing is there is oral care for the dog too. So I'll be bringing toothpaste for both of us, and both our toothbrushes. They're not in this pack because, you know, we use them every day, and when we get ready to go, we'll add those. And I have little containers to put toothpaste in rather than bring the whole big tube for the both of us. But yeah, so my water pick goes too. So in that goes. And the other thing that I don't know if I want to bring or not, I've been kind of tossing back and forth about it, is whether or not I should bring shampoo or any kind of a dish detergent. Now I have shampoo, I have I'll say a liquid soap that you can use as dish detergent and as shampoo. That is natural, it's biodegradable, it's safe for the environment. And I was thinking about bringing a little bag, a little bottle, sorry about that, little bottle of that also, just, you know, in case I feel like I do have to wash something, or if we stop at a hostel and they don't have shampoo, I have my own shampoo. So I may or may not bring a little bottle of shampoo, dish detergent, liquid soap, whatever you want to call it. Now the only thing I haven't included so far that we're going to talk about now is water filtration. So I don't know if you guys saw this video of this net bag that I made that is going to hang on the outside here. And that's for either wet gear, like your tarp if it rained, or extra food or whatever. But I have this really cool net bag that I made that's going to attach to these straps right here. That's where that goes. It'll attach right on the front there. It can carry water. So I bought the Sawyer Squeeze, and yeah, the kit came with 2 water bags, the plunger. I bought a Ceanoc bag to use as my dirty bag, and I planned on using the 2 Sawyer bags as the clean bags. Clean water bags. But I don't know if I'm actually going to bring them. I may end up doing like a lot of other people do and get those 2-liter smart water bottles. I think they're a little bit more durable, and they'll fit in my bottle holders on the side of my pack, whereas the water bags won't. But for now, I keep them in here and do carry them with me. And I bought the cleaning couplings too. I bought 2 of them. So they're and there. But here's the problem with the Sawyer Squeeze. I wish I had done a little bit more research on it, but everybody recommended the Sawyer Squeeze, so and it's lightweight and easy to use, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't filter out chemicals. So when I'm going to be hiking in places like, you know, in Virginia, you know, where you're way out in the boonies, the Sawyer Squeeze might be okay. But my first hike is going to be in New Jersey. And I'm really, really paranoid about chemical runoff. Now, most of the AT trail, or all of the AT trail in New Jersey is up North Jersey. You know, and I like to think there's not going to be that much, you know, runoff. But we were hiking up at High Point one day, and there was a stream going through the middle of High Point State Park that was the most disgusting water I've ever seen. Now, I understand some water can be tinged brown because of tannins from plants and things like that, but there was this frothy, foamy, I don't know what, just really, really thick and really, really firm, just all over the place, and I have no idea what that is. And I got a little paranoid about chemical runoff and, you know, and water being contaminated by chemicals and fertilizers and pesticides and things. So I bought a Grail water filtration thingy. If you've never seen these before, Grail. So I bought one of these. It does filter out pesticides and chemicals and things. Here's the problem. It doesn't fit in my water bottle holders on the sides of my pack. Because I thought I'd have one of these and then one smart water bottle, but it doesn't fit at all. No. There's no making it fit. They do sell a smaller one, but I don't like the smaller one because of the lid. It doesn't have a drink spout, and it carries a lot less water, and ounce-wise, it's not that much different from this one. So I just decided to go ahead and keep this one because I got it on a really good deal anyway. So either I need to carry it in that net bag hanging on the back, which I really don't like the thought of, but if I have to, I have to. But what I ended up doing was I made a carrier for it. I just took an old tent bag that I didn't have anymore and made a carry bag for my Grail water bottle. So it has a strap, so I can carry it like this. And yeah, that works when you have a backpack on. You can still throw something over your shoulder. If I want to, I can attach it to the bag. So the only other things I haven't showed you yet are the two things that are going to get stuck on the bottom of my bag that I customized a little bit. So here's the straps that, I don't know if you can see, these are the straps that click onto the lid. And they are mega adjustable, which is really, really nice. I have a lot of room there to, so that the lid can sit up much higher. So on the bottom, there were just these two loops, and they did have an adjustment that you could tighten them, but it was really hard to put anything in there. So I cut them and added some buckles, which makes them so much easier to use now to put things, you know, to put something in or out of it. Now all you got to do is unbuckle it. You don't have to, you know, take it out and then put it. It was just so no good. So the other thing that I need to show you is I have a ground cloth for my bug net, and Again, you have to see the bug net in action to understand why this is, but a portion of the bug net is on the ground with a water-resistant tub floor. And if you saw my slug-proof ground cover video, I can't stand slugs getting on everything. It just grosses me out so bad. So I got a piece of copper fabric and sewed it to fit underneath my bug net. So that's my ground cloth. And then the last thing for Cookie, and it's just a piece of a yoga mat, but this is to put in the bottom of the bug net on the tub floor for her to lay on. It not only protects the net from her nails, but even if I didn't have the bug net, this would be going with me anyway, for her to lay on, so that she has something a little softer to lay on than just the ground and the sticks or whatever. So for Cookie, this goes on the ground, and then she has a down quilt sleeping bag that I made for her that she can crawl into or lay on top. These two items, this and this, get rolled up and get attached to the bottom. Now we'll weigh everything and see how much it all weighs. There's Cookie's placemat and my ground cover all rolled up, attached to the bottom of the pack. It's nice too, because if I have to set the pack down, I don't have to worry about things in the pack being set on the ground if it's wet, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so here's the results. Everything that I showed you packed into the pack, including the whole Sawyer water filtration kit, which will not be going with us, but I just decided to just throw that on there anyway. The Grail water bottle and its bag. So everything that I showed you packed into the bag was 22 pounds, 11.8 ounces. So just under 23 pounds. Then I threw my three quilts on top of it, my two underquilts and the quilt for the dog. I threw those on top, not compressed or anything, just threw them on top in their storage bag, which is a big net bag. And then the total was 26 pounds, 3.6 ounces. And take a couple ounces off because the stuff sacks and the storage bag were on that too. And the complete Sawyer kit was included in that, which that's not going to be going. The whole kit's not going. So yeah, my base weight is 26 pounds. That's a lot. I included in that a small bottle of the liquid soap too. So if you think I don't need to bring that and can leave that behind, that might save me a couple ounces, but my base weight is definitely too high, and any advice on how to cut back on that would be great. Add food to that, I'm going to be carrying a 30 to 35 pound bag. Now I have a lot of friends that do backpacking. I've got a friend who section hikes the AT trail every year. I don't know how much he's done so far, but he's done quite a bit of it. And he says his pack for him and his dog is like 35 pounds. And he tent camps. He has a tent, and his dog, I don't know if his dog carries a pack or not, but he's got a big dog. My dog's, medium size. But his pack is 35 pounds. So when I told him what my base weight was, he was like, oh, that's great. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you have any advice or some areas where I can cut a little weight, that'd be great. And in that weight, I didn't include my toothbrush and toothpaste. But how much could that be? Couple more ounces. At this point, who cares? So after I get done with that video and weighing everything, I realized there's a couple things on my list that I forgot to put in the backpack. I actually made a list of everything I'd need to bring with me, because when you pack up, sometimes you forget things. And a couple things that I forgot was battery pack for my phone, and a appropriate wires, and my hat and head net. That's it. So I did forget two very important things. Hat and head nets, negligible. Battery pack. Now, if my husband comes with me, he's the electronics guy. I'm sorry, he's going to be carrying the battery packs for all of us. But if I go out, just me and the dog, then I've got to carry a battery pack.